Well, I'm finally getting another video out, guys. This year has been a crazy roller coaster full of events, and finally I can make another video, sit down with you guys, and talk a little bit about fishing. Man, it's been, I don't even know how long since my last video, but all I know is thank you guys for still supporting the channel. I got some things in the works here. I'm going to try to get some more videos out. Not necessarily on this channel. We'll see. I kind of have a little thing going that I'm hoping to have more videos out to you guys soon. Maybe with another person anyway. And today I just wanted to sit down, do a little recap on 2023, and talk about the baits that I've found to be pretty damn good for me this year. And, you know, there's a lot of baits out there. Multiple brands. And I'm going to talk about, obviously, one of my top sponsors, which is Z-Man Fishing Products. I talk a lot about them. You guys hear about them all the time. Not just me, but other anglers out there across the world. And I'm going to talk about my 5 baits from Z-Man that have been producing me good bites year-round. And that's so far. I mean, there's still a lot of year left. We got a whole fall and winter coming up that I'm still going to throw these baits, but we're moving into a transition where these bass are going to be chasing a lot more. So some of these baits will come into play, some of them might not. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's been going on this year. I know it's been a while since the last video, but since then I got engaged to my beautiful wife Macy, and we're married. So that's been going on. I've been having a little bit of boat issues. I've been trying to get a good camera to film on the water to get more footage for you guys. I like this kind of setting where I sit and talk about stuff, but I'm also I'd like to show you guys more on the water stuff. I'd like to be fishing, showing you guys how effective these baits are, not just talking about it. So I got a GoPro and I'm trying to get that going, but I'm having a little issues with it. So I'm trying to get into this technology stuff. You know, I'm young, I should know all this stuff, but I don't. I still have struggles with an iPhone, and that's the only phone I've used my whole life, but I'm going to try to make the best of it as I can. You know, a lot of guys see this edits, and they're probably like, how does he even do that when there's guys making awesome edits out there, and I want to know how to do that. But anyway, we're going to jump into this video. I'm going to show you my top 5 baits this year, Z-Man strictly, on what has been catching me the most fished. And not necessarily around the country, because for those of you guys who know, I have been working a lot more than I have any other year. Well, years, because I've been now with my company for about a year and a half now, and I kind of took a small break from big tournaments. I did the Bassmaster Opens. I did 2 or 3 of those, and that was when I was working. I had a lot more free time, but now I'm married, have a dog. I'm living life outside of fishing, and before, my life was just nothing but fishing. So enough of rattling on. I'm going to talk a little bit about these 5 baits, and hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please give me that like, subscribe, and comment what you guys want to see next. Like I said, we're going to have more videos coming out in the future. Maybe not with just me, but with more people featured either on this channel or on another one. If I do create another channel, it will be published on this channel to tell you guys to go look at the other channel. So here are my top 5 Z-Man baits for 2023 so far. Sorry I don't have the cool backdrop. Sorry I don't have the cool editing. I'm just giving you raw footage and one-on-one talking about my favorite baits so far this year from Z-Man. First one I'd like to start out with. This one has been around for quite a while, and it has caught me tons of fish, multi-species, and it is the Finesse Shads and Pearl. I pair this up with a 1/8 ounce crappie jig head. Now, I'm a big bass fisherman. I also fish crappie in the winter and fall, sometimes summer. Just depends on what's going on that day and what I feel like going for that day. But this crappie jig head, I'm sorry, I really don't remember the brand. I have a lot of different jig heads I use, and I don't know the exact brand of this jig head, but as you can tell, it has that awesome circle V looking hook to it, and that point is super sharp. this is a razor shad by Z-Man. For those of you guys who don't fish Z-Man or haven't heard of Z-Man, Z-Man is made of Elastec, so your baits do not rip. They stretch really far, and they don't even pull down off the head. And this is an awesome bait that you can catch multiple species on. This bait is 4 inches, and this is in the color pearl, but this is similar to a Damiki rig. If you guys don't know what a Damiki rig is, there's a lot of videos out there for you guys to see, but in short term, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It's a bait. You put a jig, you have a little jig head, and you have a finesse bait or some sort of swim bait style finesse bait on it. If you look up Joey Nania, he's a big Z-Man pro, and he won 2 Bassmaster Opens, and one of his go-to lures is a Damiki rig. This is very similar to it. Now, there's certain jig heads built for that hook, or built for that bait. This is just one I like for that. One, I can use it on forward-facing sonar if I have it. I don't have it on my boat, but when I'm with a buddy or something, I can use it on that. Or I can drop it on crappie brush piles and catch bass on it too. This is a bass catching machine. Like I said, it's Elastec, it doesn't rip. That tail is super finessey, it doesn't rip, and it has a lot of action in the water. Z-Man is so buoyant, it floats like fast. Sometimes you can float a single Texas rig hook. It's just super buoyant and it works great. But this is an awesome presentation. You can catch a lot of awesome size fish on all species. But when you're targeting bass, you're going to catch mostly bass. But this is one of them this year that has been really hot for me. Number 2, as we're transitioning to this fall and winter bite, I'm going to be throwing more of a swim bait style bait. That Damiki rig is one that you can definitely catch a lot on this time of year. But the second one is a Slim Swim in the color Opening Night. Color doesn't necessarily matter, but Opening Night is an awesome color they make. It has a lot of glitter in it, like long strands that give nice reflective flash to it. And it's white and clear, so it's an awesome color. But I've been pairing it up with a Willow Vibe. A Willow Vibe is a Z-Man chatterbait that is built for a finesse style chatterbait. So the Willow Vibe is, like I said, a chatterbait, but it has a willow blade that chatters in the water. This has caught me a lot of fish this year, especially in the back of pockets or early in the morning when those fish are moving, cruising, getting ready to eat. That is an awesome bait, and you guys got to check it out. This here is the Slim Swim 3-inch bait. Excuse me. And they have 2.5-inch Slim Swims, but the 3-inch pairs a lot better to the Willow Vibe. I've tried the 2.5 on here, but you get that ugly looking setup to where it looks like that. This fits it perfect, and you got a lot of action on it. So this is definitely one you guys should check out. This is also a multi-species bait, so you don't have to be necessarily a bass fisherman to throw this bait. You can catch crappie on it, you can catch bluegill, drum, walleye. There's a lot of different species you can catch on it. But man, if you're targeting bass, smallmouth, spotted bass, largemouth, you're going to catch them on this. That color is awesome, especially when the sun is shining high, or even when the sun's kind of peeking, but it's cloudy out. It reflects really well. That color Opening Night is definitely one to check out. That's the Willow Vibe. The third bait is a bait for one of those slower days where you're either pitching or flipping, or you're just trying to go get those fish that are on the bottom. I don't have the weight attached to it, but I'm going to show you guys the Turbo Crawl, or the Turbo Fatty. The Turbo Fatty is a newer bait Z-Man designed. It is 6 inches. They come in a 5-pack. This is in black and blue. I pair it with a 3/0 or a 4/0 Texas rig EWG flipping hook. Not flipping hook, Texas rig hook. And it has a nice little cut tail to it, so you get a lot of action as it comes down. That bait kind of twists down, and it throws off a lot of good action. As you can see, it pairs nicely with those Texas rig hooks. It really bites into that Elastec, and you won't miss a lot of fish with this. This is one cool thing about Z-Man is you can bury it in there, but when you pull on it, a bluegill tugs on it, it won't pop out the hook at all. So you got a lot of hook gap there to catch those fish, but it's also a Cinco style bait with a little adding of a cut tail on the end. This bait has caught me lots of fish, flipping docks, flipping trees, throwing it on rocks, catching smallmouth with this too. This thing is awesome. It's very buoyant, and again, it's Z-Man. It won't rip. It stretches. It's an all-around go-to bait of mine, and I actually have thrown this on a chatterbait as a trailer. I like to cut it down the middle, throw this on the end, because that tail has a really good action. And man, that tail will trigger a lot of strikes. When you're looking for a reaction strike, or you're just looking to catch fish in general, check out the Turbo Fatty. This thing is awesome. I've also cut the tail off. If I want a Cinco and they're not wanting that cut tail, they're not wanting the action, they're more subtle and they're more lethargic, I'll just cut off that end of that tail, and then boom, you got a 5-inch Cinco. And if the fish tug on it, it only gets longer. There's a lot of things you can do with this. You can wacky rig it, you can Nico rig it. It's an awesome all-around go-to bait of mine. The fourth bait is a bait I've caught a lot of fish on, mostly smallmouth, but largemouth as well. If you're around bass in general, they're gonna eat it, and that is the Pro Crawl. This is in California Crawl. It is a 3.5-inch bait that comes in a 3-pack. You might say, oh, a 3-pack, like I'm gonna have to buy a bunch of these packs. You gotta remember, it's Z-Man, it does not rip. One crawl will last you multiple fishing trips, even if you catch 70 bass on it. I like to pair it on a 3/0 EWG Gamakatsu hook that's belly weighted. So instead of a Texas rig with a weight up here, pegged, not pegged, whatever, I belly weight it because I want this crawfish to be on the bottom laying flat like a normal crawfish does. Some crawfish like to stand up. You can Texas rig it and the crawls will stand up like in their defensive way, but when you belly weight it, it'll lay flat as if it's just a crawfish looking for a rock to get under. It's an awesome presentation. This hook will lay right in the rocks and not snag, unless if you have the hook point out like that. The hook point will snag on rocks, but if you bury it in that little hook slot they have, you won't have any issues throwing this way. These crawls are very buoyant and they float up, and you can drag it, you can flip it, you can throw it under a dock, a tree, you can throw it anywhere. But like I said, majority of my fish have been smallmouth this year. Bass obviously eat crawfish, but I target rocks with this bait because of how it lays. And a lot of the smallmouth are on the rocks, so that's what I'm pretty much targeting. But the largemouth that are there will definitely eat it too. But that is an awesome bait, and it's just so compact and simple. I mean, it's similar to a Ned rig if you think about it. It's just a Texas rig Ned rig. I mean, the crawl is short and small and simple, but don't let the size, drift you away. These fish will absolutely eat that. Like I said before, the color options on this video aren't really the colors I've been catching them on. It's just what I had available to show you guys the bait style that I've been catching them on. I like it in green pumpkin. I like it in black and blue. Mud bug is one of my favorite colors of Z-Man. It's green pumpkin with a lot of orange flake in it, and that's a really good color. This is California Crawl, awesome color. Try them out. You guys will like it, and I'm interested to hear you guys' feedback on this. I think this was a bait they designed that kind of got overlooked. There was a lot of attention on it, but there's a lot of crawl baits out there. Every brand has a crawl. Like every brand that makes soft plastics has some sort of crawl. And what makes this stand out versus the other brands is the Elastec and the buoyancy. These crawls float up. They look so realistic, and you guys definitely are missing out if you're not throwing this. I know I'm saying this about every bait, but man, here in Northeast Kansas, these fish have been just absolutely eating all of these baits, and I can't wait to see what they're gonna bite this fall. Last and definitely not least, my top bait I have caught tons of fish on this summer, spring, and leading up to this fall. That we're in fall now, but leading up to the fall bite is a Zinker Z in Purple Rain. This is a Zinker Z, and this bait is so versatile. I mean, you can cut this bait in half. You can cut it in 3 ways, and there's a lot of things you can do with it. You can Nico rig it, you can Texas rig it, you can wacky rig it. You can put it on a trailer for a jig. You can do a lot of things with it. Cut it in half, Ned, throw it on a Ned. But one favorite way of mine, I've been rigging it this year, is on a 1/2 ounce football head. Simple as that. This is a 1/2 ounce football jig, skirtless of course, throwing it straight on that hook. You can drag this off of a offshore ledge. You can drag it off a roadbed. You can drag it off of a old pond dam, on the rocks, anywhere you want it. And this is one of the baits I have put a lot of fish in the boat this year with. Now, like I said before, the color situation on this video isn't necessarily the colors I've been catching them on, except this one. Purple Rain has been an awesome color of mine this year. No matter the conditions, clear water, dirty water, wherever you're at, Purple Rain seems to be always rigged up on my arsenal, and it has caught me tons of fish. One cool thing about this bait is it changes color. Now, it doesn't change color as it sits in the sunlight, anything like that. The more you use it, the more lighter it gets. So this is a fresh Zinker Z on a 1/2 ounce jig head, but I'm going to show you the last 2 inches of this bait. If you stretch it out and get the salt out and kind of pop it, you can see how this will, I got salt in my eye. You can see how this kind of changes color, and it's different from where it originally came from. So you can see the darker pattern going down the back, and then it gets lighter right about there. So if you want to keep it the same color, try to keep those bluegill off of it. But when the salt disintegrates and disappears through the water, you get an awesome color change here, and you get a lot more sun and light going through it. I have a big light shining on me right now, and you can kind of see the light shining on it versus this part. This is an awesome color, man. I have caught tons of fish on this, and I cannot wait for more baits to come out in this color. They have a big turd in this color, a finesse TRD in this color, I think some swim baits in this color. This is more of my bottom style bait, or bottom style color. I like to throw this on the bottom. I don't really like it in swim baits. I'm sure it would be good, but I like to stick to my standard natural, colors like pearl, white shad, lightning, all those other colors Z-Man makes. But that is one color you guys got to check out and bait. Zinker Z, simple little Cinco, but it also gets longer as you stretch it out. So this 6-inch Cinco turns into a 7-inch once you stretch it out. And you guys need to check this one out. You can drag this on ledges, like I said, roadbeds, dams, anywhere you want, and then smallmouth will start a feeding frenzy, and largemouth as well. Make sure you guys check this out. Sorry this video is kind of lengthy. I'm trying to get, like I said, another video out here, but these are my top 5 baits by Z-Man Fishing Products this year, and I'll try to do another recap before the end of the fall bite to where I can share you my other baits that I've been working, and I'm going to do a non-biased video. I try to tell the truth all the time on what I'm catching them on, whether it's Z-Man or not. Z-Man understands there's a time and a place their baits won't work, but man, it is very rare when those baits don't work. Use them all the time. I swear by them, and it's going to be really hard to get me away from using their products. Sponsored or not, they are hands down the best baits I have used. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If there's something out there that you think I should try, let me know. I'll try to do a review on it, maybe on my second channel that I'm about to start. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's anything that you guys want to see in the near future, and I will be glad to get it out there. If you guys haven't already, go check out my TikTok, which is Thomas Heinen Fishing. My Instagram is Thomas Heinen Fishing, and my Facebook, I got a Facebook page, which is Thomas Heinen Fishing, or my standard profile, which is just Thomas Heinen. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys watching these videos, even though I don't pump them out as much, but I'm trying. Life's happening, and I enjoy doing this. So the more people I get watching, the more interactions I have, the more motivation I'll have to do these. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the next video.